Discover the heartwarming moment a poor girl's kindness revealed the town's hidden millionaire Lily. Lily's laughter floated across the small rural town, mixing with the scent of freshly picked tomatoes and sweet corn. At just 12, she had a heart bigger than the sun-soaked fields surrounding her. Each day began with her waking before dawn, helping her single mother, Ruth, at their modest vegetable stand. They weren't just selling produce, they were offering hope to neighbors struggling to make ends meet. Every carrot and cucumber bundled together told stories of shared moments and friendships forged over seasons, yet, as the cold winds of autumn crept in, everyone felt the economy's sting. Families that once thrived were now barely scraping by. Lily noticed it in the way her neighbors wore worried frowns and how their laughter faded like summer sunshine. But not Lily. With every basket of vegetables, she carried kindness. Often, she would grab the excess produce and sneak it over to families in need, her heart pounding with excitement as she knocked on their doors, leaving bags of fresh food. Each smile she received in return was like sunshine breaking through a cloudy day. On one such afternoon, an elderly man watched from the shadow of his broken mansion at the edge of town. Mr. Jenkins was a war veteran, a man with stories etched in wrinkles and a heart burdened by memories of better days. For years he had kept to himself, invisible in a town he once knew as vibrant. Yet Lily's acts of kindness resonated deeply within him, a reflection of the grit and goodness he had long forgotten. But just when the town thought they'd seen the lowest of lows, a slick developer crashed through their quaint little world, proposing to turn their beloved community center into a parking lot. Reverberating gasps filled the air as parents whispered among themselves. The facility held memories of laughter, celebrations, and sanctuary. It was their heart. As dread settled over the crowd, Lily felt a surge of urgency. With fire in her eyes, she rallied her friends. "We can't let them take this from us." Her voice, strong and clear, reminded everyone of their shared history. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue, with Lily leading the charge. Neighbors shared stories and memories that flowed like the river nearby. Hope began to bubble, but fear lingered. The town was on the brink of surrender, when suddenly, Mr. Jenkins made a decision. Observing Lily's bravery ignited in him a yearning to step into the light again. Perhaps, just perhaps, he could trust the community enough to reveal the hidden fortune he had kept secret all these years. As the storm of emotions swirled, the sound of children playing echoed from the community center, a stark reminder of what was at stake. Would they accept his help, or would old prejudices cloud their judgment? The tension hung heavy in the air, the town on the edge, facing an uncertain future together with Mr. Jenkins at a crossroads. Change was on the horizon, but would they leap into it together? With the sun setting behind the hills, casting a warm golden hue across the urgent gathering in front of the community center, it felt like time had stopped. The townspeople shifted restlessly, their eyes darting from Lily's hopeful face to the shadowy figure of Mr. Jenkins. Whispers floated through the crowd like leaves in the wind, uncertainty thickening the air. Lily took a deep breath, her heart pounding against her ribcage. She had never been one to shy away from a challenge, but this was different. This was about everything they cherished. "Mr. Jenkins," she called out, her voice steady but softer than she intended. "We need your help. You've lived here longer than any of us. You know what this place means." His aged hands trembled as he took a step toward the crowd, his voice barely above a whisper, yet it carried the weight of 1,000 memories. I didn't think anyone would care anymore." Each word felt labored, as if unearthing years of dust. "You see, I have something that might help. But I don't know if you'd." But before he could finish, Lily interrupted, "We're struggling, Mr. Jenkins. But together, maybe we can make this work. Don't you want to save the community? It's not just a building. It's our home." The murmurs shifted slightly. Some people nodded, their hope sparking back to life. But others remained skeptical, eyes narrowing at Mr. Jenkins as if trying to gauge his intentions. Mr. Jenkins hesitated. I have money. I've been blessed, and I should be done something long ago. But I didn't have the courage. His words hung in the air like fragile glass, fearing to shatter. It's time I stop hiding. A ripple of shock passed through the crowd. The possibility of a hidden fortune turned the fear into energized expectation. But would it be enough? Just helping with the community center isn't going to be enough, someone called out from the back, breaking the silence. What if we need more than that? More than just the community center? Shouted another voice. We need jobs. We need hope. Lily's heart sank. She glanced at Mr. Jenkins, whose face now shone with a mix of regret and determination. You're right, he replied, staring off into the distance as if searching for a lost piece of himself. I know of a way to improve our situation, but it'll take all of us pulling together. Then we'll pull together. Lily cried, feeling emboldened by the energy in the crowd. We can hold meetings, plan events, and work with you. We can do this. A cheer erupted, one filled with the kind of hope that had been absent. It spread through the crowd like a wildfire, rekindling lost dreams and painting the future with shades of possibility, yet, even as optimism surged, doubt clouded Mr. Jenkins' eyes. He wasn't used to being in the spotlight. He appeared fragile, a relic of the past. Would the townsfolk embrace him or see him as a stranger trying to intrude in their lives? Suddenly, dark clouds rolled in overhead, and the winds picked up, stirring the surrounding trees. We have to act fast. Lily exclaimed, pointing to the sky. Before this storm really hits. And as the first drops of rain began to fall, it became clear, the moment of truth was upon them. Would they each take the leap of faith, trusting a man who had long remained hidden? Everything was at stake, and their answer lay ahead, ready to unfurl with the coming storm. As the wind howled and the rain began to pour, Lily looked at Mr. Jenkins and saw the flicker of hope in his eyes, entwined with the weight of the past. Could this be the beginning of healing for him, for her, and for the entire town? With a determined heart, she stepped forward, ready to bridge the gap. The storm was coming, but they would face it together. As the thunder rumbled ominously in the distance, would they be able to unite and keep their beloved home safe? The rain began to fall in earnest, each drop a reminder of the urgency that filled the air. The crowd huddled closer together, a mix of anxious glances and fervent determination reflected in their faces. Lily felt the thunder rumble in her chest as she took one more step toward Mr. Jenkins, her heart racing with a mixture of fear and hope. We will help you, Mr. Jenkins, she said with unwavering resolve. We'll raise funds, we'll organize events. We're in this together. His brow furrowed, a shadow of uncertainty creasing his weathered face. But it's been so long since I've stepped out. I don't know if I can lead, if I even deserve this chance. A woman from the crowd, Annie, called out, We know you've been here for us, Mr. Jenkins. You've kept our stories alive. Now it's time we get your story out. She gestured around, her voice ringing with solidarity. You're not just our past, you could be our future. Encouraged, Lily nodded. The rain poured harder, but instead of dampening spirits, it seemed to amplify the energy in the air. We'll fund a community fair, she declared, her voice rising above the patter of the rain. With games, food, and crafts. Let us bring everyone together and remind us of what we're saving. The crowd erupted in cheers once more. Hope flowed through them like warm sunshine, even as the clouds above darkened. Lily glanced back at Mr. Jenkins, whose face was softening. She saw a glimmer of the man he'd hidden away for so long, and it shook free a small truth within her, a belief that he could change the course for everyone both inside and outside that worn building. I'm still scared, he admitted, running a hand through his thinning hair. But if you all believe in this, I want to try. Lily's heart swelled. Then it's settled. We'll start tomorrow. Let us gather ideas, bring the town together, and show everyone that we care. Just then, a sudden flash of lightning illuminated the scene, followed by a crack of thunder that shook the ground beneath their feet. Moments later, the power flickered and died, plunging them into darkness. Gasps rippled through the crowd, eyes wide and uncertain. Stay calm. Lily urged, her heart racing not just from fear of the storm, but from a deeper worry. What if this town's resolve faltered with the lights? Would the flicker of hope they had found struggle to shine in the dark? As the rain whipped around them, Lily reached out and found Mr. Jenkins' hand, giving it a reassuring squeeze. We can't let a storm hold us back, she shouted above the gale. And at that moment, she realized a decision had to be made. They all had their doubts, but they also harbored dreams. Would they let the storm separate them, or would they hold steadfast and weather it together? The townspeople began to huddle closer, joining hands as the rain beat down harder. We'll get through this, one person shouted. Together. Another echoed. Lily's heartbeat quickened. The darkness was electric with possibility, but the fear of failure loomed like the weight of the storm above. From silent shadows would emerge a new chapter, she felt it in her bones. But what if the rain didn't just wash away their fears, but also revealed a long-buried truth about Mr. Jenkins and the very connection they needed to save their beloved town? And as they stood there, united, in the rising storm, would they find the strength to transform shadows into light? The rain poured relentlessly, bathing the crowd in a curtain of water, but it didn't dampen their spirits. Instead, the sound of the rain became a backdrop to their determination, each drop pounding like a heartbeat urging them forward. Lily looked at Mr. Jenkins, whose eyes were beginning to shine with unspoken hope. Let us move to the community center, Lily exclaimed, her voice cutting through the storm. We can plan there. We need a space where we can brainstorm and share our ideas. Right. Annie chimed in, rallying others to stay close as they moved through the downpour. The energy shifted, and Lily could feel the excitement building as they began to march, huddled under their umbrellas and raincoats, a united front against the elements. The community center loomed ahead, a beacon welcoming them with its warm lights piercing through the gloom. As they burst through the door, laughter and chatter filled the air. The familiar scent of baked goods wafted near the kitchen, reminding Lily of potlucks and gatherings, moments that were woven into the fabric of their community. The warm glow inside contrasted sharply with the storm outside. Mr. Jenkins stood at the threshold, uncertainty creeping back into his eyes. He hesitated, as if the walls of the community center were closing in, towering reminders of his isolation. Mr. Jenkins, Lily said gently, meeting his gaze with encouragement. We're all here for you. This is your space too. Share with us what you want for this fair. With a deep breath, he stepped inside, shook off the rain, and turned to face the crowd. A soft hush enveloped the room. I think we need to focus on the younger kids. They're the future, he began, his voice shaking but steadying as he saw the supportive faces before him. We can have activities like storytelling show them their history, the culture of this town. Yes. And we can set up a booth for crafting. Annie suggested, excitement bubbling in her voice. Kids love being creative. Lily's heart raced as more ideas sprang to life, each one more vibrant than the last. They covered the walls with paper and markers, writing down every suggestion that flowed from the group, a colorful tapestry sprinkled with hope and dreams. As they collaborated, the rain threatened to drown out their voices. Each crack of thunder reminded them of the outside world, but the warmth inside became a fortress, shielding them from the storm threatening to break their spirit. Hours passed like minutes, and as ideas clashed and combined, laughter bubbled from deep within the chaos. Suddenly, a loud crash of thunder shocked them back to attention. The power went out once again, plunging them into darkness. For a moment, silence seized the packed room as everyone processed their surroundings. Look! Annie pointed to the stream of light illuminating through the windows. It comes from the lanterns outside. Don't worry, I've got a flashlight. Someone shouted, flicking it on. It cut through the dark, illuminating the faces of the townsfolk who were full of excitement and a hint of nervousness. Let us not stop now. Lily clapped her hands together, reigniting the fire. We can still keep planning in the light of our ideas. This storm may hide the sun, but it'll never put out our fire. With each shared idea, they made the darkened room glow brighter. Later, as they finalized their plans, Lily caught a glimpse of Mr. Jenkins standing to the side, lost in thought. She approached him, and gently touched his arm. You're seeing how much you mean to us, right? This is just the beginning. His smile broke through, cracking the facade that had held him captive for so long. I was afraid I'd lost my place in the world. But you all remind me that there's still purpose. Just as hope surged within her like a flame, Lily couldn't shake a feeling that somehow, these moments could lead to deeper truths about their town, the people who helped shape it, and, most importantly, hidden stories waiting to come forward. With curiosity now blooming, she contemplated what other secrets lay beneath the surface of their community. Had the storm just uncovered one more truth, or was there more still to be found? As they set to work, laughter echoed throughout the room, but the storm rumbled ominously outside, like a creature stirring between moments of calm. What truths might the darkness hold, and would their efforts to come together lead them to a revelation that could change everything? Lily felt a flutter of uncertainty mixed with excitement as she scanned the faces lit by the flickering glow of the lanterns. The storm raged outside, but inside, it felt like a small universe filled with creativity and dreams. Hey everyone, let us focus on the biggest impact we can make. Lily shouted, her voice ringing with enthusiasm. What can we do that will stay in their hearts long after the fair is over? Mr. Jenkins nodded thoughtfully. We could create a memory wall, where kids can share their stories and what they love about our town. Let them leave that space with a piece of their community in hand. Great idea. Someone echoed, and soon the walls began to fill with sticky notes of vibrant colors and handwritten words of love for the town. Suddenly, the air felt electric, charged with the potential of what they were creating. Laughter floated around the room, while the rain outside continued to pour, but here, in this sanctuary, possibilities were blooming. Lily felt a warmth growing within her, fueled by the connections sparking all around. The community was more than faces in a crowd, it was a tapestry woven from shared hopes, past experiences, and touching moments. This was essential not just for Mr. Jenkins, but for all of them. As she helped organize sketches of booths and activity stations, her mind drifted to her own childhood memories, summer days spent exploring the community playground, the kindness of familiar faces, and neighbors who cared. She couldn't help but wonder, what other stories were hidden beneath their feet. Perhaps this fair was not just a gathering but a chance to unearth the treasures buried within their community. Let us not forget about the older folks. Annie piped up, standing on her tiptoes with urgency. We should have something for them. Why not a storytelling session where the kids listen to their life stories? Yes. Lily beamed. This way, we'll connect both the young and the old, they have so much wisdom to share. As the plans gained momentum, a deep rumbling echoed through the community center, less like thunder and more like a growl from the restless storm. Everyone paused, glancing toward the windows where the rain lashed against the glass. Through the dim light, there was a collective sense of determination. They were pushing against more than the rain, against the fear of letting their stories go unheard. Just then, someone whispered, "Have you heard about the old mansion on Maple Street?" Intrigued, the room buzzed with murmurings. They say it belonged to a wealthy family who just disappeared one day. What if there really is something there, something that could help us? Maybe it's just an old story, piped up another voice, but there was a spark in the air, and Lily felt it spin around her. Maybe it's time we find out, she said, heart pounding with excitement. As we build this fair together, maybe we'll stumble upon the history of our land, find our roots that lead to those stories. With fresh fervor, they dove back into planning, throwing around ideas like confetti, laughter spilling into the corners of the dim room, overshadowing the misery of the storm outside. but as Lily threw herself into the flow of creativity, a thought nagged at her. What had once been a simple fair was suddenly morphing into something larger than life. Was it possible that amid their earnest planning, they might just uncover something monumental, something that could reshape their understanding of who they were? That question hung in the air, heavy with possibilities, just as the thunder rumbled again, almost as if nature was challenging them to dig deeper, to reach beyond their current realities. As the wind howled outside, that question lingered, leaving everyone brimming with anticipation for the answers that lay ahead. Would they be ready for whatever truths awaited them, just waiting to be discovered? The next few days unfolded in a blur of activity, excitement, and a little chaos. The community center buzzed as volunteers poured into the space, fueled by the shared thrill of a mission greater than themselves. Masterpieces were being crafted and ideas lifted into the air like balloons ready to be released. Lily found herself helping organize the memory wall alongside Mr. Jenkins, who was endlessly charming with his stories of the town's past. Each colorful sticky note shared a piece of heart, a glimpse into the mind of the youth and a touching connection to their elders. As they pinned up memories, Lily envisioned the stories that had shaped this small town into the loving cocoon it was. On Saturday morning, the rain let up, giving way to cool sunshine that painted the streets with a warm, golden glow. Lily stepped outside, letting the fresh air fill her lungs. The fair was just hours away, and she could feel her heart racing with anticipation. But there was something else lingering, a flicker of nervous energy mixed with hope. "Lily! Look at this!" Annie called, running toward her with bright eyes and flapping sheets of paper. "We've got the first batch of story submissions for the storytelling session. You have to read them." Without hesitation, Lily held the papers close, quickly scanning the words. Her smile widened as she read through tales of resilience, joy, and the bittersweet moments that defined childhoods in this town. One story stood out. A young boy wrote about helping an elderly neighbor with her garden. He described how her laughter brought the flowers to life, a memory filled with colors and scents. "Wow, this is incredible," Lily breathed, her heart swelling. "These kids really get it." Just then, a loud crash echoed from the back of the community center, followed by a chorus of laughter. A group of children, armed with bright markers, had launched an impromptu art session on the walls, decorating their own memory wall. After a moment of hesitation, instead of scolding them, Lily laughed. Joy was contagious, and their excitement was a palpable energy that pulled her in. "Ready to go talk to them?" she asked Annie, who nodded, matching Lily's grin. As they approached the little artists, Lily noticed a shy girl in the corner, staring at the chaos instead of joining in. Her name was Emily, and Lily recognized her from around town. She often hung back, quietly observing with big, hopeful eyes. "Hey, Emily." Lily knelt beside her, smiling warmly. "Why aren't you joining in? We'd love to see what you create." The girl fidgeted with her fingers but didn't meet Lily's gaze. "I don't know what to draw. I'm not as good as the others," she replied quietly. Lily's heart ached. "You don't have to be great at art. Just put your feelings down, let them flow. Want to start with a memory? What is something that makes you happy?" A flicker of curiosity crossed Emily's face, and she finally whispered a hesitant, "My grandma's garden," encouraging her. Lily prompted, "What is special about it? What do you love?" With each question, Emily started to open up. The deeper they went into conversation, the more her spirit shone through. As Lily listened, she felt the weight of their surroundings fade away. Finally, Emily took a deep breath. "I could draw the flowers, and the sun." "Perfect," Lily said, beaming. "Let us do it together." As they began sketching, a glow of camaraderie wrapped around the group, with children offering encouragement and showcasing their own creations. It was mesmerizing to witness their stories and dreams merge into a single tapestry of shared culture and values. Later, as the sun began to set and the fair was about to start, a hush fell over the gathered crowd. People were anxious, curious about what they would uncover together. What was waiting within the mansion on Maple Street that could connect every generation? With the fair like a bright beacon against the storm of uncertainty, Lily stood at the center, heart pounding, knowing this was only the beginning. Would the truth they sought turn their stories into a collective legacy? Lily felt the electric excitement in the air as the crowd began to buzz with energy. Families, friends, and neighbors made their way through the community center, each person carrying a sense of hope as they gathered for the fair. The laughter of children rang like music in her ears, mingling with the smell of caramel popcorn and cotton candy wafting from the booths. As the evening unfolded, she walked through the makeshift stalls filled with hand-painted art, homemade crafts, and enticing treats. Her heart thumped in her chest with the sheer joy of seeing the community come together, each person contributing their own special touch. She noticed Mr. Jenkins chatting animatedly about the history of the town to a group of enthralled children, their wide eyes reflecting a mix of admiration and wonder. Lily's fingers brushed against the remnants of sticky notes on the memory wall. Each story pinned there felt alive, breathing with the essence of the community. They represented not just moments, but connections like threads woven into a beautiful tapestry. And as she took that in, she felt a warmth spread inside her, a realization that this event was a turning point, not just for the fair, but for everyone involved. Annie found her then, swirling in with a crimson scarf fluttering behind her like a flag. Lily. They're about to start the storytelling session. You have to be there. Everyone's waiting. There was an infectious enthusiasm in Annie's voice, and Lily couldn't help but smile as she nodded. The storytelling circle formed under a big tent, fairy lights twinkling like stars above. The anticipation in the air was palpable, and Lily felt her nerves fray, replacing them with excitement. Children gathered around, shifting from foot to foot, while adults settled into their chairs, eager. As the first storyteller stood up, a boy with tousled hair and an unassuming grin, Lily leaned in. His tale unfolded like a flower blooming, vibrant and full of life. He spoke about a time spent fishing with his grandfather at the lake, the sound of his laughter echoing against the backdrop of the water. The crowd listened, rapt with attention, hearts swelling with shared experience. One story after another emerged, weaving a rich narrative of the town filled with love, loss, and resilience. Lily couldn't help but tear up as she saw old friends clasp hands, remembering moments that had shaped them. Emily eventually stood up, her cheeks flushed but determination evident in her stance. She shared her story about her grandmother's garden, the sunflowers that towered above her, and the laughter that rang like chimes. By the end of the evening, a wave of emotion washed over the crowd, binding them together as they recognized their shared journeys. Then, a murmur rolled through the audience. A local elder stood, trembling slightly, the years etched on his face. "I have something to share too," he said, voice clear despite his age. "You all don't know this, but generations ago, a dream was planted in this town, one that was buried deep in the mansion on Maple Street." Gasps rippled through the crowd, anticipation building again. There was something about the way he spoke, a hint of magic in his words, and Lily felt the hope swell again in her chest. "What's in the mansion?" came a whisper from the back. The elder's eyes shimmered with stories unspoken. A hidden legacy, and the time has come to discover it. Lily's heart raced. The tales woven this evening were more than memories, they could be the key to something extraordinary. What if the mansion held the secrets of their past, a treasure that could change their future? With that thought hanging in the air, a shiver of excitement coursed through her veins. The fair had awakened something far deeper than anticipated, a yearning to uncover the truth that lay just beyond reach, and she was ready to dive in. What would they find together in that old mansion? The murmur of the crowd faded into a soft hum as the elder finished his proclamation. Lily's mind whirled with possibilities. The mansion on Maple Street stood at the edge of town, an old relic wrapped in whispers and forgotten tales. Intrigued, she glanced at Annie, who was equally spellbound. The stakes had somehow risen, lifting the evening from a simple fair to a quest and adventure waiting to ignite. "Do you think it's true?" Annie asked, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Lily nodded, her heart pounding. "It has to be. If the elder believes it, there might be something waiting for us there." Around them, the crowd began to chatter, some people excitedly planning a visit while others seemed skeptical. A few older folks exchanged wary glances, their histories with the mansion echoing in the air. The conversations created an electric atmosphere, a shared curiosity blooming like spring flowers in the warmth of the evening. A woman's voice piped up, "We should all go, together. We can't let an opportunity like this slip away." Her enthusiasm sparked a wave of agreement. People shared stories of late-night ghost tales or cherished memories of past gatherings at the mansion. Lily couldn't help but smile. This was a community that stood by each other, no matter how distant their ties may have been. As the stars began to twinkle overhead, Carrie, the town librarian and a local historian, took charge. "How about we meet tomorrow morning? We can gather supplies, flashlights, snacks, anything we might need. And we should form groups to search through the mansion. Who knows what we'll uncover?" Cheers erupted, and Lily felt her spirit lift further. This wasn't just about the prospect of finding treasures, it felt like they were reclaiming a piece of their town's heart, resurrecting memories long forgotten. Annie gripped Lily's arm. "Think about it. We could find artifacts, old letters, maybe even something about ourselves that we didn't know. Or we could find old stories worth telling," Lily added, feeling a déjà vu as she recalled the evening's tales. The untold stories were everywhere around them. As the fair began to wind down, community members lingered, reluctant to leave the moment. Laughter and chatter filled the air, a melody of life that resonated in Lily's heart. She knew instinctively that the search for the mansion's secrets would change them all, pulling them closer together. Later, as she lay in bed, the soft glow of the moon casting light across her room, thoughts raced through her mind. Questions swirled around what had been buried in the mansion. What if the hidden legacy held the power to shift their lives forever? With each tick of the clock, Lily's excitement grew. Who would they meet at the mansion? What stories would unfold? She drifted into a restless sleep, her dreams filled with whispers of the past and visions of their town transformed, tied together by their shared discovery. As dawn broke, illuminating her room with golden light, a fierce determination bloomed inside her. They would show up, unveil the secrets, and perhaps even discover the million-dollar story hidden in plain sight. What awaited them in the mansion? Secrets of the past or something beyond their wildest dreams? The mystery was just beginning. The morning sun streamed through Lily's window like a golden promise. She could already feel the anticipation in the air, as though the whole town held its breath. A plan had been set, and today was when the adventure began. After a hasty breakfast, Lily slipped out into the crisp morning, her heart racing. The smell of dew-kissed grass filled her lungs, invigorating her spirit. Outside, she spotted Annie waiting at the corner, bouncing on her toes, excitement bubbling over. "Did you bring everything?" Annie asked, her eyes wide, sparkling with hope. "Flashlight, snacks, and a notebook to jot down all the cool things we find," Lily replied, grinning. They linked arms and headed toward the town square, where a gathering of eager faces awaited a chorus of shared excitement. Carrie stood in the center, her voice rising above the chatter. "All right, everyone. Let us stick to our groups. Remember, safety first." She beamed at the growing crowd, her passion infectious. Lily noticed how the older townsfolk's apprehension seemed to fade as their collective resolve grew stronger. It was as if hope had replaced past fears. "There's strength in numbers," she whispered to Annie, feeling a budding sense of unity wash over them. With their group formed, Lily, Annie, and a few others made their way toward Maple Street. The mansion loomed ahead, tall, proud, and wrapped in ivy. It looked like a giant sentinel holding countless secrets. Goosebumps crawled up Lily's arms at the sight. As they stepped onto the creaking porch, the air turned thick with nostalgia. It felt strangely alive, like the house was welcoming them back to the stories it had held, the memories it had cradled. As they entered through the heavy wooden door, the emptiness echoed sharply, but the warmth of their collective energy filled the space. "This is so exciting," Annie said, gazing wide-eyed at the intricate woodwork and faded wallpaper. Lily smiled, trying to ignore the flutter of nerves in her stomach. "Let us stick together. They began their search, moving from room to room, peeling back layers of dust and cobwebs. Old photographs hung crookedly on the walls, relics of laughter frozen in time. Ow! One of the boys in their group caught his hand on a broken frame, drawing attention to a small, tattered scrapbook tucked away on a dusty shelf. "Careful!" Lily exclaimed, moving closer. They gathered around the boy as he carefully opened the pages. The scrapbook brimmed with faded newspaper clippings, photos of the mansion's past, intertwined with stories from the townsfolk. "This is amazing!" Annie leaned in closer. The excitement of learning something new sparked between them. As they turned the pages, they stumbled upon a clipping revealing that long ago, a mysterious millionaire had once resided in the mansion, a figure who had vanished without a trace. Speculation bubbled within them, like the promise of treasure at the end of a rainbow. "Look at this," Lily said suddenly, pointing to a photo of a woman standing proudly on the mansion steps, a small girl by her side. "She looks just like Mrs. Dawson from the diner." Annie's eyes widened. "You don't think?" Lily stepped back, the implications hanging in the air. Was there a connection to someone they knew? It felt like the beginning of something big, something that could change everything, but before they could delve deeper, a loud crash echoed from upstairs. The group froze, hearts pounding like drums. What was up there? The mansion, it seemed, had its own secrets still to reveal. With no time to waste, they exchanged anxious glances. Would they face whatever awaited them together? Would they uncover the truth of the past, transforming not only their town but themselves? The thrill of adventure bloomed within Lily like never before. What lies ahead could bind them closer, or shatter their reunion with the past. Either way, they were ready to find out. The echoes of their collective gasps filled the hall as Lily took the lead upstairs, her heart racing in time with their rapid footsteps. Each creak of the floorboards beneath them sent adrenaline coursing through her veins. This was it, they were stepping closer to the truth. Tension hung in the air as they reached the second floor. Shadows danced along the walls, thick with mystery and anticipation. They approached the source of the crash with caution. Were they alone? Would the mansion yield its secrets to them? The sound had come from a room at the end of the hallway, its door slightly ajar as if inviting them in. Lily pushed the door open and gasped. A shelf had toppled over, while papers scattered across the floor like fallen leaves. Dust motes danced in the beam of her flashlight, illuminating an old map that lay half hidden beneath a broken picture frame. "Everyone, look!" she exclaimed, bending down to uncover the crinkled remnants. Glancing at Annie, she saw the same spark of curiosity mirrored in her friend's eyes. They gathered around Lily as she spread the map on the ground. "This looks like it's a map of the town," she mused, tracing her fingers along the faded lines. Here were familiar streets, parks she had played in, and wait. "Look at this." She pointed to a marked spot just outside of town. "There's an X here. Could it lead to something we're missing?" Annie asked, her voice filled with excitement. Lily nodded, feeling a thrill coursing through her like an electric current. It could be connected to that millionaire. What if there is something buried there? The possibilities felt endless. The transformation of their town lay within their grasp if they could decode centuries of secrets. Just then, another figure emerged from the shadows. Mr. Jenkins, breathing heavily, stepped into the room. "Lily, I heard the commotion," he said, worry etched on his face. "What is going on?" "We found a map, Mr. Jenkins." Lily's excitement spilled over. "There's an X. We think it could lead us to something the millionaire left behind." His eyes widened in recognition, a flicker of something powerful igniting behind them. "That could be the key, the reason he vanished. Perhaps it could even hold answers to the challenges your community faces now." The room buzzed with anticipation. Adventure was calling. They could feel it in the air, each heartbeat synchronized with the fervor of shared purpose. "Let us gather everyone," Annie urged, spurring them into action. "We can't keep this from the town. This discovery belongs to all of us." Rushing back downstairs, they blood pounded in their ears, excitement morphing into determination. The mansion's dusty corners seemed to hum with the weight of their discovery, urging them on. Once they burst free into the fresh air, they spotted their gathered friends chatting, laughter spilling forth as they held tight to the warmth of the day. Lily climbed atop a low moss-covered wall and called out, "Listen, everyone. We found something incredible." The crowd slowly quieted, curious eyes turning to her. Their essay map connected to the mansion's past. It could lead us to something left behind by the millionaire. We need to go together, to uncover this mystery as a community. Gasps echoed among them, expressions bright with hope and wonder. Courage filled the air like the scent of new blossoms, leaving behind remnants of their old fears. With a ripple of energy, the townsfolk gathered around, ready to embark on a quest that would bind them closer than ever. "We've faced storms before," Mr. Jenkins chimed in, standing strong beside Lily. "It's our unity that has always brought us through, and this time will be no different." The chatter swelled as they prepared, each person bringing their own touch to make this venture a celebration of their town's resilience. They packed flashlights, snacks, and even plucked wildflowers for good luck, each flower a symbol of hope and unity as they set off toward the mysterious X like a fleet of fireflies lighting up the evening. As they journeyed away from the mansion and into the open fields, Lily caught glimpses of familiar faces filled with excitement and anticipation. All carrying with them the essence of a community ready to rewrite their story, a legacy not only of the past, but one forged in resilience, kindness, and dreams intertwined. When they finally reached the marked spot, they huddled together beneath a sprawling tree, energies swirling around them in the warmth of the setting sun. "Ready?" Lily asked, her heart racing with both thrill and fear. Together, they began to dig, unearthing branches and stones until a clink rang out, piercing the earth like a bell. What they uncovered would forever bind their stories, shaping the narrative of their town beyond what they could have imagined. With each shovelful of dirt yielding the truth buried away for too long, it became clear, the real treasure was not just what lay beneath, but in the unity they formed, battling challenges alongside each other, where hope bloomed against adversity. The sun sank low, casting a brilliant orange hue over the horizon as they revealed the chest. Inside, glimmers of gold and splashes of old newspapers shared tales of laughter, love, and a community that had survived through time's trials. A legacy, now reclaimed, that reminded them all that connection and kindness could change lives, and the future of their beloved town would shine brighter because of it. And as they stood together, holding on tightly to the shared history, feeling the flicker of new beginnings, they realized this was just the start of the journey ahead. This was their moment. A legacy was waiting to be discovered, and together, they would ensure it would not be forgotten. You need to subscribe now to this channel to not miss future adventures that inspire. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and keep this community growing. Comment below with your reactions to this thrilling discovery, and share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation unfold. Don't wait not even one more second to be part of our journey. You are an essential part of this story.